What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to, well, first off, it is Friday, February 18th, 2022. It is the live stream Friday on the Rain in Real Time channel. You know, we are live on this particular channel every 2 weeks, which is the first and third Friday of every month. And this is the third Friday. So welcome to everyone who is here so far. Before y'all really get into all of the good stuff, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like and that share button. Subscribe if you are new. I would definitely appreciate it if you would do that. That helps pushes the algorithm for this channel. And I'm actually currently at like 1,904, like 1,946, I think, subscribers on this channel. So I'm a few hundred away from 2,000 on this channel. And it's crazy considering I only go live on this channel twice a month. It's not like I use this channel every day or use it every week. So that's simply amazing. That means people are being aware of this channel. I definitely want this channel to grow the same way that my main channel is continuing to grow, even though I use this channel once every 2 weeks. But let's see, who do we have in here so far? Darlene, Spidey, Tawana, Mark, Vulcan, Joseph. Shout out to everybody who was in here so far. We have a lot of stories to cover today. A lot of stuff happened this week. Stuff came out today that I had to throw into the stream that wasn't originally there before. I'm sure many of you already know what I'm talking about, but we'll get into that when we get started. But I hope everyone was having a good week, regardless of everything that's been going on, and it's been a lot that's been going on. See, J. Cage Maximus, welcome everybody. I'm glad that everybody is here. Make sure y'all, again, if y'all have not done so already, to hit the like button and share on your social media platforms. I would definitely greatly appreciate you doing that. You know, in the first 10 minutes, we just kind of, kick back a little bit before we actually get into the stories. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff we're talking about today. And I try to keep the stories at a minimum when I go live, but it's so much that has happened this week, and I'm talking about just this week, that we're going to talk about as much of it today as we possibly can. And of course, whatever else does not get covered on here gets covered on the main channel, which has been growing exponentially for the last few weeks now. Like I think I beat the quote unquote shadow ban that I was under, for sure. Looking at my analytics, like my views have been going through the roof. My engagement has been flying off the wall. Like it's just, it's great. Everything's going good right now. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Noam King, Sunlight. Welcome everybody. I'm glad that you all are here. Joseph said, I hope you get a chance to talk about this play that just came out called Black No More. I think I saw Lisa post a video about it, but I didn't get a chance to actually look at it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know or get an idea of what it was. The title kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'll look into it. DSM Sinister, what's going on? JK said, I had some deep content this week. I appreciate it. More to come. Trust and believe it's more content to come, more foolishness. I'll just put it like that. S. Mont, what's going on? DSA1, glad that you all are here. I don't know about y'all, but this week, especially like yesterday, the weather it didn't feel like winter. It felt like spring, and I'm not even upset about it because I'm a spring baby. So I appreciate that weather. Like it was almost 70 yesterday. I could not believe how nice it was outside. And then you had that nice little breeze that made it even better. Now today was a little bit on the cool side, but that's how it is. And spring's right around the corner anyway, so it is what it is. No, you said, I don't know what's been going on this week. I've been out of town with work all week, just made it back in today. Well, good thing that you're here. You'll be brought up to speed on some of the things that have been going on this week, because it's a lot. This has been a very packed week of a lot of stuff. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason this month, this Black History Month seems like it was somewhere out there in another universe. Somehow, some way. It's just been crazy this this month. Sunlight said no humidity. Right. Well, we don't have to deal with that for another couple of months. Wish we didn't have to deal with it at all, but you know how that goes. But yeah, I'm looking across the tabs across my screen to all the stuff I'm gonna be talking about today, and it's just it's so much. Like everything that y'all see in the title is not even everything that I'm talking about today. That's just the stuff that I had put in the title of the stream and in the description before I added in like two more, wait, maybe three more things. I added like three more stories to what I'm talking about today that wasn't in the original lineup. Well, one of them is not really a story, but it's a video that I saw that I know that y'all are gonna love, but I'm saving that for towards the end. I know I loved it when I saw it, and it actually goes back to a discussion we have had on my main channel when it comes to PC saying that N word, and you'll see exactly what I mean when we get there. Massman says, what's been going on Black History Month? Been anti-Black month. It definitely feels like it, for sure. Letitia, what's going on with you? Sunlight said, I see you're freshly braided. I actually had these in for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, 2 weeks today. And what I usually do is I get them done and I'll leave them in for a month and then take them out, wash my hair, deep condition and all of that good stuff, and leave and let my hair breathe for about 2 weeks and then go right back to the chair. And that's pretty much my routine. Was something I just kind of started this year. That way, because when you keep your hair in what they call protective styles, that's what helps with hair growth. So yeah, they're not as fresh as they were 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago you've been able to tell, but if you look now, you can tell they're starting to unravel a little bit. But we holding on strong. But I'll be taking them out the week of the 4th. I usually either take them out on the month exactly, which will be on the 4th of March, or I'll take them out that week. We're going to get started in about 1 more minute. I see it's 25 people in here. If y'all have not done so already, please hit that like button and share as well. I will greatly appreciate it. Isaiah said, I heard about everything's going to be all white documentary on Showtime, and PC people are in an uproar about it. I'm sure they are. Just even at the title alone, I actually watched a video that the Amazing Lucas did talking about it. And like he said he had watched it. And he said, I don't know why they're so upset about it. Like they only got mad because of the trailer. They should actually watch it. But anything that is pertaining to anything about them, showing them for who they truly are, it's going to easily trigger them. But that should be of no surprise to anybody. Okay, so it is currently 5:10. So we are about to go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And of course, I got to start this stream off because originally I was going to start it off with a very positive, happy story, which I'm definitely going to talk about. But because this is a huge breaking story, I had to cover this first. And that is, of course, Kim Potter's sentencing for the murder of Daunte Wright. She got sentenced to a measly 2 years in prison, but could possibly only spend 16 months in jail. The easiest slap on the wrist ever. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this clip from the Kim Potter sentencing, that, and this is the judge right here, and I got a whole thing I'm going to talk about with her as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play this.
All these considerations, and having carefully considered the comments of the family and of both Dante Wright and the comments of Kimberly Potter, as well as the arguments of counsel, it is the sentence and judgment of this court that you shall be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 24 months. You shall serve 2/3 of that time, or 16 months in prison, and 1/3 on supervised release, assuming no disciplinary offenses or conditional release violations. You have credit for 58 days already served. Restitution will be reserved. There'll be a fine of $1,000 and a surcharge of $78 to be taken out of prison wages or due within 180 days. You must provide a DNA sample. You may not use or possess any firearms, ammunition, or explosives. You have the right to appeal the conviction and sentence. If you are unable to pay the cost of an appeal, you may apply for leave to appeal at state expense by contacting the state public.
Okay. So y'all heard it right there. She got sentenced to 24 measly months in prison. She's already got time served for 58 days, and they said she can actually get out after serving 2/3 of her sentence, which is 16 months, and the rest she can spend on supervised, I guess you could say, home imprisonment, where she's at home, and they just come by and they, she has to wear an ankle monitor. Slap on the wrist. There you go. Now, if y'all follow me on Twitter, I had said after this lackluster sentencing of Kim Potter, it's safe to say that the most protected individual in America is none other than the palm-colored woman. And I'm going to explain to you why. At least last year, when Derek Chauvin got sentenced, he got 25 years. And he's still on now. I think he still, has some pending charges that he can be have attached to him. When it came to the McMichaels and William Roddy Bryan, who are currently on trial for the hate crime charges of killing Ahmaud Arbery, they got life imprisonment. But Kim Potter, she killed a black man, and she gets 2 years and possibly will get supervised imprisonment after serving 2/3 of her sentence, what is 16 months. I said on Twitter, when is the last time a PC woman got a huge, impactful sentence for committing a crime like this, or any crime for that matter? I mean, we can take it back. Look at Casey Anthony. We all know that that woman did what she did to her daughter, but they didn't see that she did it, so she got released, and she was found not guilty. Mary Kay Letourneau, that woman slept with her student and got pregnant by him multiple times. She was in and out of prison she was going in and out of a mall, and she still got a slap on the wrist. That teacher that I did a story on in New York who slept with her student, not only did she not have to register as a sex offender, but they gave her old job back at the same school in which she committed the act. To this day, they still don't know who she is. I remember her, and the thing is, I forgot her name because, they don't talk about her anymore. Betty Shelby killed Terrence Crutcher, murdered him. She did not serve 1 day in jail. All charges were dropped, and she was able to get a promotion and go on tour talking about the dangers you face dealing with criminals as a police officer. Tell me that's not protection. Surely they already, they already got the whiteness on their side. But remember how I tell you that this is the time where you can actually combine racism and sexism together? This is that moment. Because a lot of white women will escape consequence when they shouldn't. Look at how many Karens, we call them Karens, have gotten away from acting foolish in public. And that's with anybody. All they got to do is, after the fact, is cry on cue, and then they're believed, and then they're let go. I would say that the PC woman is more protected than her PC male counterpart, for sure, without a doubt. We know that they can get away with things, but I don't think they can get away with them nearly as much as she can. I guess we'll see her in 16 months. You want to know what's even crazier? Just 2 weeks ago, didn't Jason Van Dyke just get released for quote unquote good behavior after he murdered Laquan McDonald in cold blood in the middle of the street, shooting him 16 times? And he spent more time in prison than she did, at least by a year. Amber Geiger, she gets 10 years in jail for killing Botham Jean in his own apartment. Something she should have got way more time for. You can even attribute it to white women who have gotten killed by police who are not white, such as Justine, that Justine chick who was killed by Muhammad Noor because she was where she wasn't supposed to be. And he gets a jail sentence of 15 years. So even in death, they still have a level of privilege because of their skin and because of their gender. So when anyone asks you who's the most protected person in America, it's her. And not her specifically, but her, if you get what I mean. And then have the nerve to sit up there and try to tell us that they're oppressed. You can't be that oppressed if you can get away with murder like that. And technically, in my opinion, she got away with it. Because 2 years is nothing. 16 months, what is that? We got black people in jail right now for weed. And they serving murder sentences for weed. And this woman has a murder sentence, and she's getting, like, this is something that someone would get for petty theft. Probably, yeah. Most likely, yeah. But yeah. But I wanted to to move on a little bit. Well, not from this, but talk about this judge right here, whose name is Regina Chu. Look at this headline. The judge who sentenced Kim Potter for Dante Wright's death cried as she asked people to empathize with the ex-cop. No, we are not empathizing with a terrorist. As far as I'm concerned, Mrs. Doubtfire's doppelganger is a terroristic murderer. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. She basically did the same thing Judge Tammy the Mammy did. Gonna sit up there and say, ask people to empathize. Why? For what? She's the one that killed somebody, not the other way around. I wish I would. They get one little anti-Asian hate bill passed, and then they lose their whole noodle. I wish somebody would tell me to empathize with the person who took out or took away my loved one. But let me move on to another story that's not really gaining any traction like that, and it should. And it's actually a rather older story, but it's something I remember talking about a while back. Let's go ahead and play this video.
A new trial ordered for a former officer.
He was deprived of a fair trial.
Years after a shooting incident involving a man with autism and his therapist. Tonight, reaction from the victim's attorney.
I talked to Mr. Kinsey this morning. He's willing to do whatever is necessary to secure a conviction in this case. He doesn't believe that Officer Loretta should be a police officer.
After a conviction is overturned. Tonight, both sides in this controversial case are speaking out. CBS 4's Peter Dench followed the story when it happened back in 2016. He joins us with this new development from the courts. Peter.
Well, Elliot, this is where the shots were fired in July of 2016. Former officer Jonathan Aleda testified he fired his weapon because he believed that Charles Kinsey was being threatened with a gun. Officer Aleda, former Officer Aleda, was convicted of culpable negligence, but that was overturned. Cell phone video shows a memorable image with mental health therapist Charles Kinsey lying on the ground with his hands in the air. He had just caught up with autistic patient Arnaldo Rios Soto, who had run away from a group home. Officer Jonathan Aleda testified he fired 3 shots after a witness claimed Kinsey was being threatened with a gun. It turns out it was a toy truck. Kinsey was struck in the leg.
Officer Loretta showed up on scene, believed that there was a hostage situation, believed that there was a firearm, and he fired shots to protect someone.
Officer Aleda was acquitted of 2 counts of attempted manslaughter, but convicted of culpable negligence. The 3rd District Court of Appeals ruled a circuit judge erred by refusing to allow the SWAT team commander to testify about the training that Aleda received relating to hostage rescues.
Essentially what the appellate court said is that Officer Aleda should have been allowed to show testimony illustrating that he did that day what he was trained to do.
Aleda's attorney, Eric Schwartzreich, adds,
there were 13 officers on scene. Officer Aleda was the only SWAT officer, and he did what he was trained to do.
Kinsey's attorney, Hilton Napoleon, disagrees.
This incident was not related to a SWAT operation. I'm not sure what his SWAT training specifically has to do with how he reacted. Most of the time, you're not able to point to an officer's training to show that they did something wrong and opposed to what they were trained to do.
Napoleon says Kinsey would like to see a new trial.
I talked to Mr. Kinsey this morning. He's willing to do whatever is necessary to secure a conviction in this case. He doesn't believe that Officer Aleda should be a police officer. He doesn't think that he should be able to get his police credentials back.
Officer Aleda was fired and sentenced to a year of probation and was ordered to write a 2,500-word essay on policing. Now, Aleda's attorney told us that Aleda looks forward to getting his job back. He also said Aleda could not comment on camera right now because of the possibility that there will be a new trial coming up at 6. In just 1 hour, we will hear from the attorney for the autistic patient. We are live in North Miami. Peter Dench, CBS 4 News.
Okay.
Peter, thanks a lot.
All right, so y'all just heard that ridiculousness. So some of y'all have, like I said, are aware of the story in which I just let play out for you right here in case y'all did not or forgot about this story. But it's, like I said, so much stuff happens between now and then, or then and now, that sometimes this stuff escapes you, but then you hear, and there you have right here, a year of probation and a 2,500-word essay. What is this, high school? A 2,500-word essay about policing. I guess that's supposed to be punishment. Now, keep in mind, if y'all remember, the cop, when he shot Charles Kinsey could be heard asking him, "Why did you shoot me?" And he replied with, "I don't know." Does that sound like someone that should be holding a gun, whether in their hand or on their holster. That is the reply of response to somebody who is definitely unhinged to be carrying any type of firearm, because that just shows you are irresponsible and extremely trigger happy. I wouldn't even let you hold a taser. Like, that was his response to him. I don't know why I shot you. I just shot you. They claim that the patient had a gun, but it was a toy truck. And Charles Kinsey was going after the patient because he had left the facility that he was at, and it escalated to this. Something that did not have to happen. I'm just glad that Charles Kinsey is alive, because he could have easily got killed from this. And my thing is this: if you assumed that the patient was holding Charles Kinsey at gunpoint or whatever the case may be, because you thought it was a gun, why would you then shoot the person that's quote unquote being held hostage? See, this sounds like a story they came up with later down the line. They knew that wasn't no gun. They knew Charles Kinsey wasn't being held hostage, because Charles Kinsey was laid on the ground on his back with his legs spread and his hands spread out. He already knew what time it was, and he still got shot anyway. I'm glad they didn't shoot the patient, because at first I thought they was going to shoot the patient. But the fact that anyone got shot that day is crazy. And then you're going to sit up there and shed them little crocodile tears. That's why if y'all looked at me how I looked on the screen when it got to that point, I kind of looked away. I was like, here we go. Here we go. With them fake tears. I've never heard anyone say that they don't know why they shot someone. Usually whenever someone shoots someone, they'll have a response. He didn't even come with the "I fear for my life" line. At least I'm glad he didn't say that, because we knew that would have been a lie. You know, they love to use that one. But the fact that he came up with "I don't know" as a response, he should not be a cop. Exactly, no. They shoot black men because they want to. That's what he wanted to do that day. That's why he shot him. Plain and simple. He won't actually say that, because that would incriminate him any further. But that's why he shot him that day, because he wanted to shoot him that day. He wanted to, use his gun. And what better person to use that on than a black man? Man, I tell you. But let me move on from here. Y'all ready to hear some good news? Y'all ready to hear some, I guess you could say, exciting and happy news? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to hear some exciting and happy news. Because this actually was going to be the first story I brought up, but these two stories kind of just came in and kind of Beauregarded that one to the side, but we still going to talk about it regardless. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to hear some good, happy news. And I'm actually glad to talk about this. Okay, I'm seeing the 1 starting to trickle right on in. Okay, so what the hell is this? Okay, that wasn't the happy news I was talking about, but got off screen. Well, I hear wedding bells, because the GOAT gymnast herself, Simone Biles, is engaged to get married. She got engaged a few days ago, and this is her fiance right here. He is a football player. He plays for the Houston Texans. And he popped the question to her, I think on Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. But yep, this is her and him right there. And that's the ring. I actually follow her on Instagram. So I remember when she started posting pictures of them together, and I said I could tell she was genuinely happy. So yes, she is getting married. And what I liked about their engagement from the pictures that I saw, it was very intimate. It was just them two and the photographer. Like, they didn't have a bunch of people around. It wasn't some big pomp and circumstance type of thing. And it was just them two. So it was an intimate setting, and yeah. And now she's all over Instagram on her page, constantly taking, you know how when women get engaged, when they get engaged, they always taking those pictures of them, you know, holding their face and taking pictures with their hands in the front, showing the ring off. That's currently what she's been doing since she got engaged. But you know, hey, I'm not even mad at it. Congratulations to them both. But yep, she is getting married. Just reading through some of the comments. But what I like about this is this post that she made. It says Simone Biles says her engagement ring beats a gold medal, my most prized possession. That's crazy. As many gold medals as she won, she said her most prized possession is that ring, or her ring beats a gold medal, and her most prized possession is her fiance. Vogan said she got to show up the ring now. She's been showing it off like crazy. Like I said, I follow on Instagram. She's been showing it like crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this little bit of bright news to the forefront. We're not going to hang on this story for too long. I just wanted y'all to see this because it didn't really make big, you know, widespread news like that. But I wanted to bring that to y'all attention. So congratulations to the both of them. And I'm sure the next time that I talk about them was when they are officially married. So let's move back on to the effery. You know, I had to take a little break, a little detour, and talk about this one right here. India Arie. We go from happiness to absolute disappointment in a matter of a couple of minutes. So I didn't do a video about India Arie. I know a few people did a video about her, but I chose not to. And now looking at it, I'm glad that I did it. But I did talk about her in my live stream when I was talking about Joe Rogan last week on my main channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go check that out. And she basically first came out and said that Joe Rogan was a racist, and she was taking her stuff off of Spotify, and because of all of this other stuff, saying that he was a racist and all of that, and people was riding for her for a little bit until she came back and said, you know what, Joe Rogan, he isn't a racist. And shout out to Professor Black Truth, because he did one of his Moment of Truth videos about her. I think it was this week. And why she decided now that she's like coming back and flip-flopping her response. Like, it's like she's over here 1 minute, then she's over here, then she's back over here. She doesn't know where she's at. I don't think the woman knows which way is up. And now she's saying he's consciously racist. What does that even mean? Can someone tell me what this even means? What consciously racist can somebody please let me know what that is? Because I don't know. But basically what it is if you watch Professor Black Truth's Moment of Truth video about her, she basically flipped like this because apparently Spotify is probably going to pay her a little bit more chump change, because they ain't going to pay her the big bucks. So apparently they're going to pay her a little bit more money. So now she's changed her tune. It's too late, India. The people have already fallen out of grace with you, or you've already fallen out of grace with us. It's like, is there anybody out there that can stand, besides Dave Chappelle, that can stand firmly on their square when they say something? It's like the black people will have your back. But see, the thing is, they are so in love with Zaddy and Miss Ann so much that the thought of black people even coming to their aid and defending them for whatever the case may be, that the white man's ice is definitely colder. That's exactly where that quote in that statement comes from. She is the perfect example of that. And I can see why Professor Black Truth doesn't do or jump out the window and do videos like these, because he has to wait to see what's going to happen. He's waiting to see the long game instead of just jumping right in there, and he have to come back and retract and jump back in. Yeah, it's too much. And I was the same way with this. I said, I'm gonna wait and see what's gonna happen. And I'm so glad that I did. I said, I'm gonna see how long this is gonna last. And as you can see, it didn't last too long. I don't even think this thing lasted a week. So India, ma'am, you are on your own. You are on your own. And she says that his fans are sending her racial slurs. Oh, well, hey, you got to deal with that. Moving on to from one mammy to the next, and that is Loretta Lynch. Man, listen, when I heard about this, I said, do I talk about this on a pre-recorded video or talk about it today? I said, I'm talking about it today, especially since I did that video about Robert F. Smith last night. And shout out to everybody who watched that video, and shout out to Robert F. Smith for basically putting Roger Goodell in his place. And I hope he stands firm on that. So in case y'all don't know, Loretta Lynch was the former Attorney General under the Obama administration. She willingly chose, let's keep it real, she has willingly chosen to insert herself into the NFL affairs when it came to fighting the lawsuit that Brian Flores has against the National Football League. People, I had to frame it that way because it's not like they asked her, but she could have chose to say no, but she chose to say yes. So it's like here you have Brian Flores, like literally has the NFL by the balls, literally. And they say, you know what? We're panicking. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to beg Robert F. Smith to become an owner of the Denver Broncos. And I think that's dead on arrival. So let's go out and see if we can find an attorney who can help us fight this. I know. Let's go get Loretta Lynch. You know, she was attached to Obama, and I know she'll say yes. And sure enough, she did. She put on them Christian Louboutins with the taps on the bottom and click, 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 click her way right to the office and on beat. Now, it's interesting that they will find and hire a black individual, in this case, a black woman, to help them fight against Brian Flores with this suit, but they cannot find a black head coach to hire genuinely or find a black owner to buy a team genuinely. But hey, we need to fight this man because he's winning right now. And we need to make him lose. So let's go and get her. And I had posted about this on my Twitter account. And I had a lot of people that, you know, that was agreeing when I called her a mammy. But of course, I had some people that was upset that I did refer to her as such. And I just let them die on that hill of being upset. I didn't even engage. And how ironic, her last name Lynch. How fitting is that? She, like the administration that she worked for, didn't do a thing for black people, but now she wants to get up on the right side of the bed where the sun is shining and try her way down to the NFL office with Roger Goodell and company to deal with Brian Flores. Are we surprised? No, you're not. And I hope that they lose. That would be so funny, wouldn't it? That would be hilarious if they lost. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that actually happens. But see, the thing is, the NFL has literally exhausted a lot of its, I guess you could say, its power because of this one lawsuit. because everything got exposed about them. My thing is, what will they combat with against that? That's the bigger question. What are they going to pull out of their hat, their magical hat? What are they going to wave their wand around and pull out of that hat to fight against what is clearly the obvious? I'm just curious, but we will be following this one as closely as we possibly can. Moving on. I wanted to talk about this casting that they just recently did for this Bob Marley biopic that they have coming up. And this is the actor right here who they cast for him. Now, if y'all not familiar with him, if y'all remember the movie One Night in Miami that came out last year, he was the guy that was cast to play Malcolm X. Now, this guy, Kingsley Ben-Adir, he is a British-born actor. So, of course, you know he has the accent and all types of stuff like that. But he was recently cast, as you can see, to play Bob Marley in the biopic of his life. And as we all know, Bob Marley is, he's Jamaican. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is not necessarily to talk so much about the movie itself, because I don't know what to expect from this. My reasoning of doing this is because the pushback that came from the Jamaicans when they found out that this guy was cast as Bob Marley. I said, well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Right, Tom Petty? They were pissed when they found out that this British-born actor was playing one of their icons. I said, well, looky here. Now you know how we feel, us, as Black Americans feel when you or people like him get cast to play our icons. So you had him cast to play Malcolm X. You had Daniel Kaluuya be y'all gotta forgive me, Fred Hampton. And so many more. You had well, I wouldn't necessarily count, with Idris Elba playing Nelson Mandela in Long Walk of Freedom, because he's not he's African. But still, yes, Cynthia Erivo playing the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Are you kidding me? Yeah, and Harriet Tubman. That's why we liked when Nate Parker played Nat Turner, because you have a Black American playing a Black American. That's why we received it so well. I don't think people would have received it if Nat Turner was portrayed by a non-Black American born actor. Yeah, Jordan, they mad about that. You should have saw it. The thing is, have that same energy. If you're gonna say all this stuff about us and us being upset about, oh, you shouldn't be mad that other people are playing your parts and playing parts about people like that, as long as they're doing the role justice, and then go escalate from there to talking down on us like Cynthia Erivo did, and they're gonna have the nerve to play our icons and our heroes, and then expect us to just roll over and just deal with it. No. So when I found out about this and found out how mad they were about it, I said, oh, this is perfect. This is the perfect dig right here. Granted, they're probably not going to watch it, and I wouldn't blame them if they did, because if I was in their position, I probably would be pissed. But I'm not, so it is what it is. Oh, well, they'll listen. As far as I'm concerned, that is their problem. Not exact. Esmont, good, another good one. Zoe Saldana playing Nina Simone, and then made her look hideous. And let's be real here. Some of us over here may not be a big fan of Zoe Saldana, but let's admit that she is a very good-looking woman. And to have her made up like that was horrible enough, and to make it, because The makeup was horrible. Let's just be real here. Y'all could have just went out and got a likeness of Nina Simone. And Nina Simone wasn't a bad looking woman herself. She actually had very distinct features. She had very distinct features. But to try to do that with Zoe, it just didn't work. And Zoe Saldana is Dominican. I rarely have ever seen her claim her blackness, but she will claim that Dominican side of her, though. What's going on, K-Bosh? I mean, K-Bosh. I said K-Bosh. Joseph Watch said she was stunning in Drumline. That's actually the first time I saw her. When I first, if you ask me, my first real recollection of Zoe Saldana in an early role, it was definitely Drumline, and she looked like great in there. I was like, who is that? I think every boy at that time who was around my age was like, who is that? Because, you know, at that time, we didn't have the major impact of social media to just go online and, you know, find out who she is. But, yeah. But, yeah. I don't feel bad about it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna throw him a curveball. I hope he knocks it out of the park. I might actually watch it. It might actually be good. It might surprise us. Who knows? But hey, they upset about it. Ask me how I feel about it. Nothing. Let's move on. Now, this story right here, listen. Somebody needs to pull Van Jones to the side and ask them, dude, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Who heard about what happened recently with Van Jones? Who in the chat recently heard about what happened with Van Jones? No, he wasn't crying. To hear about him crying would be like saying snow is about to fall out of the sky at 0 degrees. No. Okay. If y'all didn't hear about what happened with Van Jones, he recently had a new baby, but not with a woman that he's in a relationship with. It says that he had a baby with his friend whose name is Nomi. I'm guessing that's her name. And they're calling it conscious co-parenting. I have never heard of something like that before a day in my life. Who do you know? And I'm gonna ask the guys out there, since this is dealing with Van Jones. If you are a guy, and this is to the men in the chat, would you go and have a child with a woman that you have already just declared as a friend? Like you have put her in the friend zone, she put you in the friend zone. Would you just go up and have a child with her just because? Because I know most guys, if they have a child, they want it to be with someone they're in a relationship with. I've never heard of that before. Angus Merriweather is probably right. You are definitely right. You listen. You know this woman don't look like Van Jones. You know this woman don't look like Van Jones. I just want to know, if you are a guy in this chat, would you have a baby with someone you just declare as a friend? That means that y'all have no intimate attachment to you. Like there's nothing, like there will be nothing going beyond y'all just being friends. Y'all will never ever have sex. This guy has seemed to defy all laws of gravity with this one, because he did it. And my thing is, if you have sex with a friend, at this point they're no longer a friend. You can say friends with benefits, but once you have sex with someone you declare as a friend, they're no longer, in my eyes, they're no longer a friend. This guy got $100 million from Jeff Bezos after he flew up in that penis-shaped rocket outside of the Earth's crust, atmosphere, and started acting a fool. He said, after the Woovit lockdown, I got clear that I wanted another kid. I discovered that my friend Nomi also wanted a baby, so we decided to join forces and become conscious co-parents, he said. It's a concept that I hope more people will explore and consider. I don't think so. That just sounds like something that people out in Hollywood would do, and regular folks should not be doing that. It's bad enough that you have a lot of people that got baby mama, baby daddy drama already as it is, to want to now hook in their friend into the drama. This sounds like something that only rich people would do. And now he got that $100 million. I guess you could throw him in the wealthy zone so he can afford to do it. But still, I don't care how much money this guy do. This guy is, I swear his brain is not attached to his head. It is not there. It is hollow. Like if he was to knock, it would echo. Like I said, I've never heard of anything like this before, ever in my life. And my first response was, when I heard about this, I said, isn't Van Jones married? And they said, no, he's divorced. I was like, okay, because I said that would have been even more weird if he was still married and his wife allowed him to do this. So like I said, that divorce and him getting that 100 mil, oh, trust and believe. He said this is something that more people should explore. Oh, trust and believe. I would not be surprised if he does this again in the future. This, in my opinion, he might as well go and be like that guy, the sperminator, who was literally in the bathroom just giving out his sperm to all these women so they could have a child. Y'all remember him? In New York, the sperminator, as they called him? I don't know. I guess the next time we see him crying is if she puts him on child support, right? He gonna be on CNN claiming to be crying about some kind of event, but it's gonna be really about that child support check he gotta pay. And I'm like, dude, you just like got this woman pregnant and had a child, and you got this $100 million from Jeff Bezos. What were you thinking? It's some weirdos out here, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. And Van Jones, you fall into that category. You just do. You've been there, but now you've sunk even lower into it. Let me move on to this story. Now, this is the story right here that I've been aching to get to all week. And that was the fight that happened in New Jersey at that mall. I feel like I don't have to ask anybody in this chat, did y'all see it? Because I know y'all already have, and there has been reports that have come out after it. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. This is the raw video footage right here that everyone saw before it escalated and went to mainstream media and then went even further to possibly disciplinary, and I put that in quotations, involving the cops that were involved.
Right now. We go right now. Right out there. You're talking to an individual. Get up. Go outside right now. Go outside right now. You're talking to an individual. What do you mean? You know I have my face. Get your hand on my face. Come outside.
Oh shit!
Yo!
No, bro. Chill. Brian, get out. Brian, leave. Holy shit.
Nah, nigga, what the fuck?
Holy shit. Oh no. Holy fuck. Yo, it says he's black. Racially motivated.
Okay, so y'all just saw that video right there, and I'm gonna put it right here so y'all can see it. So basically the story behind this is that you had this white teen and this black teen get into it, and the reason is because the black teen, who is 14, he was, and I'm gonna be honest, when I saw him and they said he was 14, I said 14. I'm gonna be honest, I thought he was older than that, but he's 14, and the white teen was saying some stuff to his friend, the black kid's friend, and the black kid stepped up and like you know, chill and everything like that, like, you know, talk to me and everything like that. Basically, the white kid was, in my opinion, was being a bully, and then it escalated from words. It went from being verbal to physical. So y'all saw the physical part right there where they actually got into the fight right there. Furniture was moved. And shout out to Bernie Mac for saying that, because ever since I heard him say that at a stand-up show, well, not at a stand-up show, but he was on it was either Kings of Comedy or Def Comedy Jam back in the day, and he said we're gonna be moving some furniture. It was Kings of Comedy, because it was the story he was talking about his sister's kids, which basically was the storyline for Bernie Mac show. But they moved some furniture, as you can see right here in this video. And as you can see, yes, clearly the white team was besting or getting the best of the black team in the fight. I can't even, you know, say that he wasn't. But what got me, of course, what got the rest of you who watched this, was these two cops over here came rushing in to break up the fight and pulled the white teen onto the couch. The white female cop held him down on the couch, while the white cop slammed the black teen to the floor and put him in cuffs. But what made matters worse was when, after the white cop had the cuffs on the black teen or had his hands behind his back, you had this chick come over and then put her knee on his back. For what? Because she wanted to. And have you ever noticed that whenever they arrest black people, they love to put that knee on our back? They love to put that knee on their back. He had his knee on his lower back, and she had his knee on his upper back. I couldn't even imagine how painful and aching that had to be for him. Like, that's two pressure points right there, your upper and your lower back. Anybody who works out knows, when you work out your back, those are pressure points right there. And I know that could not have been comfortable. And then he had his hands behind his back while cuffs were being on. He literally was in a vulnerable position where he could not move. Now, at the end, you had the girl who was recording the video misstated the obvious and said that he is because he's black. She stated the obvious. And then she said it was definitely racially motivated. Now, from what I've heard in the some other stuff when it came to the white team, he was like, a statement that he had gave was he was confused as to why they was arresting him and why they didn't arrest him. And if you notice at the end, he gave like a motion like, you know, are you going to cuff me? Clearly that didn't happen. That definitely did not happen. So more further news started to come out. They got his, you know, parents involved, was mother, as far as I know. And she gave her little, you know, statements and whatnot. But one thing I wish she had not done was go to Ben Crump, of all people. I'm like, how is it that this guy managed to get all of these cases? Like, and you always gotta worry when Ben Crump is involved, because you know that man is an ambulance chaser. He is all about the bag through and through. But you have Ben Crump there. That, I think they said they put the two cops on some kind of leave, whatever. But no one can tell me that this was not racially motivated, as far as them coming in to put the cuffs on him and basically leave him right there on the side, as if he was fighting himself. There were two people here, which, in my opinion, if you was going to arrest one, you should have arrested the other. Then we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But here we are, and we see it plain as day. Like, this video literally went viral almost the exact minute it went up on the internet. Like, I saw it everywhere, and I'm still seeing it today outside of this. But people want to tell us that white privilege doesn't exist. Okay. Keep telling us that. Keep believing that. Remember, Kim Potter got a slap on the wrist for murder. Amber Geiger got a slap on the wrist for murder. Betty Shelby, she didn't even have to get a slap on the wrist. They just let her walk. Donna, yeah, I know PVT just talked about it. He talked about it today, as a matter of fact. No, was it today? I think it was today. Today or yesterday. I noticed that too, AK Sour Guy, and some of the rest of you in the chat noticed that too. That a lot of those PC kids was there, and that N-word towards the end was flying. Because I don't know if I saw any other black kids there. I think he was the only one. He looked, to me, in the video, it looked like he was the only one. But you want to know who will be worse at defending this besides the obvious PC culprits? The co-colonizing cohorts who look like us. I don't have to say any names. Y'all can pretty much guess, but I'll give you a hint. Their initials are BT. Y'all can drop the name in the chat. I don't care. But their initials are BT. I would not be surprised if they defended this. Because, you know, they always defend everything that these cops do, especially if they're white cops going against black people. After all, this is the same person that got so up in arms about that "are we gonna be all white" trailer, but had no problem. I mean, yeah, did he get mad about that? I think he did. But yeah. Spidey, you got it. You said the last name, but yeah. I said BT Blackjack, not CO. And I think I saw somebody in the chat write something about how a lot of these black parents fail to tell their kids about how race works in this nation. That is so accurate. That is so accurate. You know what's so crazy? I actually had to learn about true racism on my own. And sometimes you have to learn from experience. Like, you have to have someone be racist to you in order for you to really know what it is or know your position. And if you're lucky to not have experienced that, then you need to, you know, be on the lookout and be prepared, because it can hit you at any moment. Shoot, there's some stuff that I have to tell when it comes to racism about to my parents, and they've been on this earth way longer than me. And they were born in a time when Jim Crow was starting to fizzle itself out, like, well, as far as segregation goes. But yeah, sometimes you have to educate, you know, the elders. Crazy as that sounds. Good question, Don. She said, watch who your kids hang around. Where was his friend? And she's talking about the friend that he was sticking up for. That is a very good question, because I'm telling you right now, if I was the friend and they were sticking up for me, guess what? You get in, I'm jumping in. In these day and age, there's no such thing as a fair one. And before I move on to the last part, do y'all remember that video? It was on social media. It came out like last year. If you have an Instagram, you probably saw it, because that's why I first saw it, where you had this white girl in the cafeteria just starting to hit this black girl. I think she was black, or maybe she was Muslim, because I think she had on her hijab. And she just started hitting her for no reason. Like, I don't know why she was hitting her. She hit her like 7 times. And then all of a sudden, this black girl came in and went in on her. I'm talking about, she did the windmill on her. And she was swinging so fast that white girl couldn't keep up. And then she slammed her head into that lunch table, and I know that had to hurt. And then they got on the floor and she's still swinging. That white girl did not get hit, like one hit in. And then when it was all said and done, they pulled the black girl off of her. She mushed her down on the floor with her foot. Now, mind you, she still had her shoe on, so I know that had to hurt. She made her literally kiss the bottom of her shoe. But what got me more so than anything about that video was how when the white girl was hitting on that other girl, everybody was like chuckling and laughing at it, taking it lightly. But the minute that black girl got in her face and started swinging on her, oh my God, what are you doing? Get her off of her. She's hurting her. See the difference there? When black people, whether they're defending themselves or defending someone else against them, then it's a problem. Because see, the thing is, they know black people can be very aggressive and territorial when we are protecting something or ourselves. They are scared to death of that. If they could make it illegal where we cannot defend ourselves, they would. That more than anything that happened leading up to that point is the part that stuck out to me the most in that video. They do not like seeing black people defend themselves or other people against them. That literally scares them. Yeah, because like I said, when black people, when we fight, like if we in that moment, we go in. I don't know what makes black people fight more aggressively, when we want to fight or when we don't want to fight and people instigate it. I think it's the second one. When you don't want to fight and people constantly instigate it, because it's almost like you're allowing the rage to build up inside of you and then you unleash. Not saying if you are ready to fight, because in that moment that adrenaline is pumping, but I feel like whenever you don't want to fight and people keep instigating it and the person keeps messing with you and then you just swing on them, oh, those be some of the best ones. Those be some of the best ones. Because it's almost like you're becoming a ticking time bomb. And that all you hearing in your head is that tick, 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 tick sound. And once you hear the ding, it's a wrap. But I'm going to go on to the next one, because speaking of fights, how ironic that the last thing I'm going to talk about, and I have to give a shout out to Quest X Boxing. Some of you may be familiar with him. He has an Instagram page and he has a YouTube channel. And he talks about mainly a lot of boxing stuff. He talks about like a lot of politics and stuff. But he posted this video from TikTok on his Instagram page. Now, how ironic. We talked about racism and Dub S. We talked about the N-word. And we just saw a video of a fight between a PC team and a black team. And I just gave you a video about, or not a video, but I just talked about a video involving a white girl bullying this other girl and the black girl coming in and basically beating the shit out of her. Now, this video right here, it looks like they're at a restaurant, and it looks like a Applebee's based on the setup. I think this looks like an Applebee's, and it looks like they were having a party or about to have a party based on this table. But what happened is there's a black guy right here and there's a white guy right here. This white guy thought he was going to activate his inner Joe Rogan today, and this black guy had to let him know, you messed with the wrong one. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
Let's go outside. There's black. There's a difference between black and niggers.
Oh, shit.
Shut your goddamn mouth. No. Come out your mouth again. Goddamn mouth, bro. Come on. Watch your goddamn mouth. Fuck that. Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so that's the whole video right here. There were two key moments in this video that stuck out to me, besides the obvious. I'm gonna see if I can catch it. It happened right around. Let me go back a little bit.
No. Come out your mouth again. Goddamn mouth, bro. Come on. Watch your goddamn mouth.
Oh, that part right there. Did y'all catch that? The person recording the video, when he knocked this guy to the floor, he said, damn. It's how he said it. When he knocked him to the floor, he said, damn. that part right there, and the one right at the end. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. This part right here. This guy flipped his hat. He said, and put it right back on his head and kept walking like it was nothing. Hold on, let me go back a little bit more. Flip. Put it on. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I caught that immediately. I almost had to stop the video to laugh a little bit, but he said flip and put it back on. But my thing is this. Did y'all hear what the white guy said at the beginning? He said there's a difference between, he said there's black people and then there's niggers. Where have you heard that before? I need y'all to put it in the chat. Where have you heard that line? I know y'all know it. I know y'all know it. AK Sour God said Chris Rock. If y'all don't remember, there was a stand-up that Chris Rock did back in the day, and he said a line that a lot of people stuck with him. He said there's a difference between black people and niggas. And what did this white guy say? Let's run it back.
There's black. There's a difference between black and niggers.
There it is. That's where he got it from. So remember how Joe Rogan said in his podcast when he was saying that people like Richard Pryor and Red Fox was saying the N-word on their shows and stand-ups and stuff? That's why I said this guy let his inner Joe Rogan come out, because he literally did the same thing, because that's where he got it from, was from Chris Rock. And the thing is, when Chris Rock said it, he didn't say it with the ER. He said nigga. This guy chose to put the ER on there. And just like with the video I was talking about with the girl, the white girl getting her ass beat by the black girl, like how when he said that word, all people said was, oh. And the reason why they said it is because they knew that that black guy was about to react. So I can bet leading up to that verbally, it was probably crazy up in there. But when he said that, that was the trigger moment. But just like that video I was talking about with the white girl and the black girl, no one was doing nothing until the black girl reacted. Just like in this instance, they weren't doing nothing until the black guy reacted. But see, the black guy, he had height, he had that extra level of testosterone, he had the build. They wasn't about to hold him back. If you notice, they were trying to get the white guy away from him because they knew they could not stop this guy. They couldn't stop him. And on top of that, this white guy's bald. He slapped the out of his head multiple times. That thing is going to have a handprint on the back and side of his head for a couple of days.
Oh, shit.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
And you can see that the woman right here in the red, who I'm guessing is with him, is yelling at the guy to stop. Like, she's trying to tell him, like, please stop talking because you are getting your butt whooped right now. And he's coming back to keep giving you more hits. And you would think, see, this is how stupid people like him are. You just got slapped multiple times in your face and on your head by this guy after you call him a nigger. And you're going to continue to talk. And then when he comes back, when whoever this woman is to you, she's giving you a warning to stop, and you keep going. That's why you got hit even more and then ended up on the ground. Well, through some chairs and then on the ground.
No. Come out your mouth again. Goddamn mouth, bro. Watch your goddamn mouth.
She gave him a warning. She tried to tell him to stop, but he kept going. And to the PC people out there that may or may not be watching, don't let Joe Rogan get you ended up like this guy right here. Because it will not end well for you. Not everybody is with that BS of letting anyone and everyone to say that word. And clearly this black guy right here is one of them. And this guy right here found out that day. He knocked Bob Barker on his ass. That's crazy. But yeah, like I said, some people just got to learn the hard way. But like I said, she gave him a warning to stop talking, and he kept going. And he got knocked in the head some more. And the thing is, the black guy was hitting him with an open hand. If you could hear, those were slaps. Those weren't punches. Like the punches, you wouldn't make that kind of sound. He was hitting him with an open hand. An open hand. Not a closed fist, but an open hand. If he had hit this man with an open hand, with the force he used with them slaps, this guy would have been knocked out, and this video would have probably been a whole lot shorter. But I'm glad he hit him with the open hand, because it's actually made the video that much more entertaining.
Let's go outside. There's black. There's a difference between black and niggers.
And before I even go any further, I know y'all want me to run it back, but it's something else I noticed. Look, pay attention to what she did not do. And I'm glad she didn't do it, because I would have been upset if she did. Now, we can clearly tell that even though it's kind of fuzzy, that this is a black waitress. Pay attention to what she did not do. And I'm glad she didn't do it. So we can see she's right here and he's right here. He's about to let that word fly. And I'm going to pause it when I show you, when y'all can see what she didn't do.
There's black. There's a difference between black and niggers.
Look at how her reaction was. She had her things up like, whoa. Like, whoa. But pay attention to what she does not do. Notice she got herself out of the way. She did not try to break it up. One, she's a female. She knows that to try to stop that, she probably would get hit herself. Two, she was on code, because in that moment when he said that word to disrespect him, he was disrespecting her too. So she got herself out of the way. She didn't do that. Oh my God, stop hitting him. Don't do this. She didn't do that. So I'm glad that she didn't. I'm glad that did not happen.
Hey,
And now she runs out of the way completely.
Oh, shit.
Notice the only people that's trying to stop him are the white people in there. All the black people that's in there, because I think it was a black family sitting there. They just sitting there just watching. The black waitress that was right there, she got herself out of the way. I think it's black people recording. They just having a show right now. The white people are the ones being they're the ones that's panicking right now.
shut your goddamn mouth. No. Come out your mouth again. Shut your goddamn mouth. Watch your goddamn mouth. Fuck yeah.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
And this guy's so bold, he's already got knocked up the head several times in the beginning and when he got knocked through them chairs. And he gets up and he's still trying to get in this man's face. This guy is the definition of you don't know when to quit. You don't know when it's over. And notice, and look, the black guy put his fist up like, yeah, come back over here again. Notice something else I noticed. We picking apart this little 55-second video. He hit him with open hands this entire time. This time he gets up. He said, basically the black guy saying, come over to me again. I'm not going to slap you. I'm going to knock you out with this fist. I'm closing my hands now. No more open hand. I'm closing them. They're clenched. So the white guy gets in his face, and the black guy pulls up his fist like, yeah. And then that's when he finally turns around and goes away. Because he knew it was about to be lights out if he hit him with that closed fist. Like I said, if he could do that damage with an open hand, a closed fist would have not, he probably would have knocked his dentures out. But that's pretty much it. That's going to pretty much wrap up the stream for this week. I know y'all enjoyed it as this last part. Like I said, I had to bring something in it because there was so much stuff going on. You know, I got to entertain a little bit. But that's going to conclude the stream for this week. I'm glad that everybody who came through was able to come through. If you are new, I hope that you have hit that subscribe button and that you have hit the bell to be notified every time I go live on this channel. Like I said, first and third Fridays of every month. We'll be on the main channel next week for Freestyle Friday, which I know Spidey is going to be very excited about that. Also make sure to watch the 9 o'clock premiere video this evening on my main channel, where I will be giving my first impressions of the show Bel Air that is on Peacock right now. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Well, enjoy your weekend. The weekend just started, and I will talk to you all in the next one.